I'd say the biggest difference between Coraline and any other exercise system I've done is it has even a bigger emphasis on movements that are relevant to life, like squatting, lunging, moving, standing, walking, are all built into the system of how you train people on it. And everybody, as you already know, sits too much in our world. So there's a big emphasis on hip extension and spine extension and rotation. So you just get to hit through repetitions the muscles that tend to get weak and tight repetitively so you can improve function, posture, and movement. And Jonathan Hoffman, the inventor, was an orthopedic physical therapist whose focus for 20 years was on back pain. And he invented it primarily in the beginning to serve those clientele, and then when they got better, everybody wanted to continue using it, so it became a fitness model too for health. So just that primary thing of doing way more exercises standing and hitting your body in every direction, doing lots of repetitions to open up the legs, and combining it with the feedback of the machine that teaches you how to turn your body on while you're stretching other muscles. So it really gives you an understanding of what it means to have dynamic flexibility and stability, because flexibility and stability have to go together. Like a lot of, I've taught yoga for years too, and I think still in the world it's getting better, but there's still the notion that how far you go in a yoga pose is better yoga, when it has nothing to do with yoga. It's really a misunderstanding of function. Really, you should only go to the degree that no other part overmoves, that you don't substitute and distort. And the Coraline gives you that feedback. It's like an external nervous system. So the machine itself is giving you feedback to feel where you're about to break, which is so valuable. So you got the Coraline and you got the teacher. So you got two external nervous systems giving you feedback, which is fabulous.
I think it's a really essential piece of being able to give your client a tool that makes sense to them, that they can take with them every step they take or every activity that they do. They actually feel a difference. They notice a difference. Their golf game improves, their tennis game improves, their walk improves. I'm seeing people that were really dysfunctional in their gait pattern completely, just from a few sessions on the Coraline, it starts to really make sense to them right away.
I find that my patients respond in such a different manner, that they have so many aha moments of their own maybe faulty movement patterns or things that they've been struggling with over years, that just finally they get it because they can feel it in their bodies just by getting on this piece of equipment and starting to move. I love it diagnostically because it gives me the opportunity to see people functionally moving and, where are some imbalances or where might their issue be that's, not what they thought it was, that we can really connect into those functional positions.
In a Coraline training is a brief orientation of how the equipment works, and then you begin with understanding the movement principles with each track of exercises. So the exercises are presented in a track, meaning either position you're in or a relationship to the body, like a movement principle of pelvic stability or spinal mobility. That would be a movement principle. And then you will learn a series of exercises that relate to that principle in a particular position. So with the Coraline, you always start from the ground up. So it resembles Pilates, where you're taking people from a supine position to understand breathing and body activation, and then you're gradually moving them up to kneeling, all fours, and then standing. And through that, you're helping them to understand anatomy, body dynamics and mechanics, and how the machine and your activation relate to improving function.
I am going through training right now. I'm doing level 1 Coraline. It's definitely helped improve understanding little key movements in the exercise that when you're practicing, you just kind of do, but then when you're trying to instruct to others, your body listens a little bit differently. You pick up things you may have missed in years past of practicing, so it's definitely helped me improve my Coraline practice for myself as well.
The Coraline manual in particularly has really come off the press the last couple of years, and I have a lot of positive feedback for that. How simple it is, but how thorough it also is. and that it's written in a way that it speaks to a really diverse population, because we have physical therapists that don't teach movement on a daily basis, so they're doing more manual techniques, to Pilates instructors, to even fitness instructors, and then everything in between, patients that might have had some Coraline and want to take the class so that they can buy one for their home. The manuals and the teaching instructions have been just really well presented by Balanced Body, so that the material and what the instructor's trying to get across is in there for the students to take back with them and work through.
After you finish the training, there are a lot of resources. You get podcasts, there's actual sample classes, so you can get to see how you would sequence a session. POT, I'm developing a lot of continuing education on the Coraline as our physical therapist, so specific applications for physical therapy, sport-specific training. So I think there's a lot of really great resources for people after they've completed the training to continue to build and grow on what you've already learned.
Coraline is for everybody, young, old, athletes, non-athletes. Everyone can benefit from this because it's a functional movement and it's upright, because we function upright. And so I have used it, again, from old to young, injured to non-injured, highly trained athletes to the most deconditioned. I've had the experience with other therapists once they get on the Coraline themselves and they say, I would never put my balance patients on this or my neurological patients on this, but those are the people that benefit the most from it because they can feel it in their bodies. And that's what I love about Coraline is patients can feel it. You don't have to convince them.